That is a subject near and dear to my heart. So, what prompted you to get involved in the right to work movement?
Well, John, it's been a long journey from high school, where I was mentored by an extremely liberal social studies teacher, civics teacher, that kind of convinced me that the idea of communism, socialism, Marxism should be the rule of the day. From a journey into college, learning about individual freedom and individual rights, getting a little more education about kind of who we are as Americans. Growing up a union household, actually, with a stepfather who was a 32-year member of the International Association of Machinists, and a mother who was a union member with the Civil Service Employees Association in New York State, washing dishes in a cafeteria. I was primed to be kind of on the other side. But when I learned about the power that union officials have been granted in America to compel someone to pay them for the right to work, that's when my eyes kind of opened up about individual freedom and liberty. And now for the last 38 plus years, I've committed myself to helping workers protect those individual freedoms that should be part and parcel of this grand experiment in self-government.
Good for you. You know, it is astounding to me that we are even having a conversation about socialism and communism. I mean, when my entire life, those terms were virtually forbidden. I mean, they weren't forbidden because we have freedom of speech, but they were so contrary to our way of thinking and our way of life that we didn't even consider those as possibilities in our great country. Today, however, we find ourselves having to fight socialism and communism at virtually every turn, including in the workplace. What do you think?
Yeah, indeed. We don't have to go back that far in American history to find out kind of the origins of all this. I mean, let's go back to the late 1800s, early 1900s for a gentleman by the name of Samuel Gompers. Samuel Gompers was the father of the American labor movement in America. And in his final speech to the delegates of the AFL, the American Federation of Labor, in El Paso, Texas, Samuel Gompers said this, and this is a profound statement about how unions ought to operate in the United States. He said, "The workers of America adhere to voluntary institutions, that anything that is formed through voluntarism is inherently stronger and will preserve longer than anything that's forced together through compulsion." And Gompers was right about that. He was right about it then. The union movement, unfortunately, went to Congress back in the 1930s and said to the federal government, give us the power to compel ourselves, to compel people to join us and associate with us, and give us additionally the power to force them to pay money for that forced association, and we'll make things right in America. That type of collectivism has spawned what is kind of the basis for this idea that these private organizations like labor unions have power out of all proportion to the numbers that they claim to represent.